you know, or maybe we can do this to throw him off, maybe I can do that to throw him off. That's their lot. So the scripture says, fear not the imaginations against thee. You're not supposed to fear that because you know their end. Continue.
For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
So all the unfaithful, all the unbelieving, all the scorners and scoffers, they're going to die in their unfaithfulness. That's their lot.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
So that's what he's going to bring upon the earth. Sword, famine, death, and destruction. And sword represents what? Calamity and famine. What is that called? Starvation and plague. These are all plagues and death. Because when there's all bodies, what does that cause? Disease. There ain't going to be bodies that are being cleared up. This is all a part of prophecy. Okay?
It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
So wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. It's everywhere. Okay? If you don't see a drug dealer, you see a homosexual. If you don't see a homosexual, you see some other wickedness. Adultery. So we're surrounded by what? Wickedness.
Yes.
So like, I mean, I was sitting at a bus, man, just say. I was sitting at a bus stop yesterday. I turned to my left. I saw an advert from McDonald's, and it had some chicken mayo burger, and it had bacon in it. And this big ass picture on the side of the phone booth. And I thought, I have to sit next to this shit. You know, it's ridiculous. Like you said, you look one way, you see one wickedness.
Yep.
You look another, you see another wickedness. There's no getting away from it.
So it's all in your face, you know. And now you're looking at a woman. You got to ask her, well, is that even a woman? Her Adam's apple looks a bit big.
Or her hands look big.
Or her hands look big. Transgenders, all that madness. Sodomy, and that's the spirit, because a brother done a list on it. GMS Watchman and Elder Apostle Aramla on sodomy. You have some men that may look tough on the outer, but inwardly they're sodomites. You know.
There's one guy that comes to mind, Terry Crews. You know that guy?
Yeah, the bald head.
Yes. Yeah, the comedian guy.
No, is he a...
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So these are the things we need to speak. If we're going to speak against him, we need to speak against all wickedness, but not all wickedness.
Got a precept. Got a precept out.
You know? See, we can't hold our tongue when you speak about all of it, because certain lessons I calm down upon speaking on the homosexual, because they would take that much. But I can't do that. I can't be partial, because then I'd be what? Condoning it. That make me what? Wicked.
That's right.
Got something to say?
Yeah, on the 2 Peter 2 says, and turn in the cities of, and 6, 2 Peter 2 and 6, and turn in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah unto ashes, condemning them with an overflow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly, and delivered just Lot, this is the point, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it. So delivered just Lot, because he said just Lot, because he was what? Vexed with the conversation of the wicked. Yeah. He was living amongst them sodomites.
When you're going into slacker, when you're going into the,
it ain't even funny.
When you're going into that, I'm just saying, when you go into that, just bring out these precepts to prevent your channel from getting taken down. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I didn't know. They do take down the channel because I'm speaking about that particular topic.
Yeah, bring out the precepts.
You know, I do bring out the precepts. I don't just pull stuff out. I bring out the precepts, but they take it down because of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, but see, that's what type of society we're living in.
Yeah. Man, I just say I had a video taken down because I called it vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. It got pulled for the same reason, because I was going into the sodomy.
Yeah.
But that's why this place needs to go down.
Yeah.
It's getting me mad.
That's why some people don't get. That's
getting
what
me mad.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand why I put up curses every day. Which I have my reasons why I do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to lay it out somewhere. Go on out.
Right, it says, 2 Ezra 15 verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and her hurtful works are fulfilled.
That's why you had some guys flying some rainbow-colored LGBT flags. You know, like that's cool. That ain't cool. That's off.
That gets me mad because so like I didn't interject, but that gets me mad because they're taking the holy symbol of the rainbow, which was the covenant between the Most High and Yahawah, that he wasn't going to flood the earth again. Yeah. They've taken that righteous symbol and aligned it with something that was completely unrighteous and unholy.
Yeah.
So that gets me mad.
Yeah.
And we have to accept that. We don't have to accept that. We don't have to accept no sodomites. And that's what they're teaching to your children.
Yep.
And if you speak against it, oh no, you can't do that, that's hate speech.
Yeah.
Who are you to judge? Well, the scriptures judge that. It's unclean, it's filthy.
That's right. It's a sin unto death.
And you notice thing with Sodomites as well, they're very aggressive. And they always got their eyes covered. Why? Because they're demons. That's them demons.
I'm gonna get a quick precept. Bear with me.
If man shall lie with man, they
Yeah, I'm
both
getting
committed a filthy act, an abomination.
It's Leviticus 20 verse 13.
And you got to accept that. And this is what they're teaching your children.
I saw a video by a brother this week, and they had a child reading that book, and it's called the Gay BCs. And like, for example, for Q they'd say queer, for D they'd say drag, and the child, you know, like the child would read a book, they'd say dog, cat, car, bus. They're reaching all. They're talking about like transsexuals and queer and joy and all this kind of stuff. And they had this little Edomite reading out of this book.
Firstly, further.
Yeah, I got it in Leviticus 25.
Because you know what? I'm going to tie it into the Egyptian, the whole Egyptian thing. Even the so-called black unconscious community, they condone that.
Yeah.
What do you think the Egyptians were doing? They were into incest. So the black unconscious community, they practice sodomy. Paul lied. I heard he drinks his own, his woman's menstrual blood.
I don't even want to hear about that. That is.
See,
that is
we're going to
beyond
bring
all.
out. Oh, look. This is why this place needs to go down.
That's right.
But he has the nerve to shoot at the Bible. Yahawah is going to destroy that nigger polite. And his goons and Surah and say, no, you sodomites.
This is Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
So it says it's an abomination, it's an unclean act according to the scriptures.
If a man also lieth with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
So according to the law, a man like that is supposed to be put to death. In Jamaica, they call it batiman. Okay, buju bantan dana song on that.
Boom, bye bye.
In a batiman, they try, cut him out from the industry and all that.
Yeah, he had to do some time in jail for that.
Yeah, I've got a precept for you. Ready?
Yeah, bring it out.
This is Romans 1 verse 24. Wherefore the Most High gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
So the Lord gave them up to that. It's not something they had control of. The Lord gave them up to that because they were not right to begin with.
Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Who changed the truth into a lie and worship the creature more than Creator. You saying two men can sleep together, that's changing the truth into a lie.
Yep.
Because that's not, we read in Leviticus that what is the punishment for that?
Yep. Shall I continue?
Yep.
For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So even the women are doing that as well. And it's the spirit, because I was doing a lesson the starting of the week, and there was a woman behind me. I don't know if any of you brothers saw it. I was doing a video and there was a woman behind me, but she had the skaterboard on, she had the woolly hat on. You'd think that's a boy. So they changed the natural use, what? Read that again.
It says, for this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections.
So that's a vile affection, to be a carpet muncher. That's a vile affection.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another.
So what's the natural use of a woman? A man and woman are supposed to get together. So what? They can procreate.
And bring forth children.
And bring forth children. Two men can't bring forth no children. That just brings forth diseases. That just brings forth AIDS.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another.
So it says burned in their lust. For two men to lie together, that's a lust. For two women to lie together, that's a lust.
Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
So when that happens, what you're going to receive, the recompense of your error that was meet, that is just due for your own error, lest you repent.
Well said, but I'm a Christian, well said. But Bindon, what's his name, this bloke coming in America,
Biden.
He's going to shut us down saying that within a year.
Well, he's
That'd
already...
be a criminal offence.
Right. Well, he's already. Yeah.
He's bringing it in.
That's all
Right.
part of prophecy. The famine of the word.
Yeah.
Small minority telling us all what to do, the old gays in Parliament.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Satan. The
That's right.
Antichrist.
Right.
Anyway, we've got a short time left to enjoy it while we can.
Right. That's the spirit, because it tells you in Revelations 12 and 12.
Yes.
For the read that. That's the spirit. We have a short time
They
left.
said homosexuality will assert itself in the end time. Assert itself.
Well, it already has.
are in the
It
end
already
times,
has.
man.
Man
end
of them in
times.
Parliament, and they have asserted themselves because they're telling the majority what to do.
Right.
That's
And guess what? Them same people in Parliament and Biden. There's actual a video of him stroking on a little girl's shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, grabbing her hair. So
Yeah.
they're all those in Parliament. They're child molesters. You know.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Like you said,
Yeah,
you have a short time, so that correlates with what you're saying.
The actual word, it says it asserts itself in the end times. So homosexuality, in 67, they got so-called rights they could practice legally. But that's like a group, I went all through that, and it's like I said, we're like a flickering candle, our life short. And that 50 years ago when it happened, it's like a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And in that short space of time, they have asserted themselves. They've gone from hiding to out in the open telling us what to do.
Right.
So it's asserted itself in the end times.
Yes.
Right.
Never mind.
Okay, got anything
They'll think he's all right, this bin Biden, what you call him.
Yeah.
He's not all right.
He's worse than Trump.
None of them are any good.
That's it.
That's it.
Back in Romans 1 and 28, it says, and even as they did not like to retain the knowledge of the Most High, let me read it again. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, it's like it goes on, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, and disobedient to parents.
So these were all the attributes in the last days, and what men and women were given up to. All these things.
Disobedient parents. When I was growing up, you had the grandparents, there's about 3 generations in one house. Now, you've got old parents now, they're looking for an old people's home to shove them away.
I know it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Honour thy father and thy mother and live long in the land.
Exactly.
They just want to kick them in an old people's home.
Yeah.
There's some around there, they got mansions. I used to visit one up with this woman up in Highgate, this old people's home. Rich, upper class bloke. He's like a skinny old geezer. Oh, when you come in again, he's saying to his about once a month, and they got mansions, and
Yeah.
I'll see you at the end of the month. And he's like vegetating in an old people's home.
It's horrible. See, that's what happens when our people don't live by the principles of the scriptures.
Yeah.
You know.
If you shove your parents at once, so what are you capable of anything, mate? I'm telling you now.
Mm-hmm.
Getting older kids and changing their sex.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back in that.
Yeah.
Back in the lesbian days, getting older little kids and mutilated.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
back in that as well.
Yeah, he signed an executive order on that.
LGBT, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many people are
I think
deceived.
it's 50.
Yeah.
I think it's 50.
Yeah.
20. You know what I'm talking about?
What has to do to kill my
Well, what you're saying belong to church, Messianic Church in Golders Green. He does all this, all the political side of it, end day stuff, a lot. He'd be on with you, he'd be on your side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just the ball. That was always really the ball game. Really, is to do away with basically the power that people already had, a little that they had anyway. To do away with that, so that basically people can be more vulnerable and fall back onto the same system. It's like another situation occurred, as we all know about the whole Martin Luther King thing. I talk about it once in a while. He was just basically an individual that, because at the time, so-called black people was segregated, which really in all reality to the Israelites. But the plan was to get him, use him as a vessel to integrate under the same system that was already messing with, the already so-called white people that were there, to get them under one banner.
Right.
Because in order for you to establish a one-world system, you have to integrate everybody under the same thing. Because if everybody's separate, then it's much more difficult to rule over the people.
With it, this, I'm thinking of what you were just saying about 30 years ago. We get on the bus going through King's Cross, what you're saying. And my mate's chatting up a good-looking young black girl, beautiful. He, rabbit. So he's gone, oh, you don't like me because I'm white?
Yeah.
She said, oh, no. She said, I just prefer my own kind. So I thought, yeah, okay. And I thought, now, the New World Order government, as you said, when it used to be divide and rule, now it's bring together and rule.
Yes.
Because once you've got different countries in different differences, you can pin them down.
Exactly.
But you can complain about them. But if they make everyone look the same,
Yeah.
and pull the borders down, and you're all one country and one look, then you're subservient. You're finished.
Easier.
And you know too, it's really an old agenda going back to if you can, one of you brothers real quick. Genesis 11. Please get me that, because that's what they're really doing. What they're doing is they're trying to basically bring everybody together. Because in all reality, when you read the story of
God gave you all the different countries and the different languages and your own ethnicity and your own fathers and your own background.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nothing wrong with people want to marry across that divide.
Exactly, there's nothing wrong
but
with it.
A lot of people think, isn't it wonderful, is it nice? But the devil's clever. He's clever.
Yes,
and he
he is.
thinks, right, bring together and roll.
Yeah.
But God divided us in the beginning and
Yes.
he rolled us because that's why he pushed us around the world in the first place.
Yeah.
And he gave Ghana their borders. Every African country, they've got their tribes and their languages, and he rules. He divides and rules.
Yeah.
The devil laughs and he says, well, I'm going to unite them and I'm going to rule. But if you say that to anybody, you're a racist. It's not racism.
Yeah.
I said, that black girl 50 years ago preferred her own kind. And if she wants to marry a white bloke, for black, that's all right, you can cross the divide. But why? But like you, this is my argument. I daren't say it to the elders in my church.
Yeah.
I said, well, why did God give everybody their own border, ethnicity and language? Why did he do that if he wanted us all together?
Exactly.
Good.
We're allowed to.
That's why I like him as well.
I'm allowed to
Yeah.
go over here, marry a black girl, and we're glad to do that. But God didn't do that in the beginning.
No.
And he's very smart. Oh, you're a racist if you want your own kind. No, that black girl preferred her own kind. And you can prefer whatever you want because you're free in God. But they're smart.
Yeah.
But if I say that.
You're labeled
To your
as
own
a
Christian leaders, you've had it.
Yeah.
You say it to politicians, you've had it.
Yeah.
He's got a tight grip.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll never forget that, and I thought, that answers my question. She says, no, I just prefer my own kind. I thought, well, I couldn't argue with that. That's fair enough.
And even the term itself, racism, when you look at the term racism itself, it just means to be for your own race. Nothing wrong with that. Like, for example, if let's say I'm from Brazil, and Brazil's playing, I want to be supporting my team Brazil. What's wrong with that?
No, but it is not. But if you look at the DNA map of the world, I looked at it as Europe, and I did what you did, back to Genesis. Like, there was, what's his name? There was Adam, then he had Japheth. Japheth was the father of Asians and Europeans.
Well, really, Japheth was the father of the, the Polynesians, those people in the
And then
small
there are
islands.
lots of people.
Yeah, those
Anyway,
people, yeah.
But one of the sons was Magog, which is Russian.
Yeah.
And if you look at the DNA, the colour map, look at it, DNA when you go home,
Yeah.
all the Russians, the males, 80% of them have got the same DNA father. So when you go to Africa, they're going to have the same DNA father, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Seeds from their fathers.
And God made it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Well, a lot of them Russians are Jakes. You had Alexander Pushkin. Yeah, he was a Jake.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of them are Magog, from Magog.
Yeah.
Shall I read the Table of Nations or the
Table of Nations.
11 or 10?
Yeah, you could read that. Actually, no, you read that and then jump to Revelations, Genesis 11.
Right, start with 10, yeah?
Yeah, the one, brother.
Right, it says Genesis 10 and 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Yeah.
And unto them were sons born after the flood.
Yeah.
The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, as you just said,
Yeah.
and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tiras.
Yeah, because like I was saying, those people in the Polynesian islands, they were once dwelled in Europe, if you could believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened through the process of time, they were conquered by the Greeks and what have you, and they moved, like we all pretty much, like people like migrate.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what we were taught to believe is that people stay in the same place. No, they
No,
don't.
no.
People migrate. It's like originally, we're the children, we're declaring the truth that the elites already know, that we're the Israelites.
Right.
That's what we're declaring to the world. And not just these people on the sign, but even also those that are scattered amongst the nations that look like the nations. Like the brother was saying, one of the brothers of mine was even saying, you could be one of us. You know what I mean? So, I mean, this is not a thing. Like, mainly, yeah, we do teach that this so-called black people, Latino, Native American Indians are the descendants of Israel. But you have our people that were scattered amongst other nations, which is a part of the curse. You know what I'm saying? So all we're here to do is to declare the truth to the world that we're the Israelites, and also declare that the Messiah is going to come back.
Yeah, when Jesus comes back, you read it, and it says he will rule the nations with a rod of iron.
Yes.
So the devil and the government world, new world order, they're trying to mix us, make us one.
Yeah.
The devil knows that. So Jesus says, I'm going to rule the nations, all different nations. Because that's what God wants.
That's what he
divide and
wanted.
rule.
Wise man.
He's a thinking man.
Yeah.
He's a thinking man.
What numbers want
They'll make you feel guilty, and they'll make you a black fascist or a white fascist. They'll make you whatever they want to make you. The black girl says, no, I prefer my own kind. Lovely looking, he's chatting up for half an hour. So I prefer my own kind. I thought, well, nothing to say about that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Things are different.
Black and white want to marry, but if you don't prefer your own kind, nothing wrong
You
with
can
that
get that,
either.
but I want to finish this first. I want to get this brother. So this man is a thinking man. He doesn't go with the flow like everybody else does. You know?
And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Rephath and
Ashkenaz,
Togarmah.
stop. Gomer. Gomer, think Gaul, French, Gaul, Gomer. They were situated there in the Middle East.
Turkey.
That's it, around Turkey in the Black Sea. Then Gomer's son Ashkenaz, and it's in their history in Germany, they've got Ashkenaz, and they got it right back. And no one believed they got it right, they did. They said Ashkenaz moved into Europe from Western Turkey, the Black Sea, up the Danube and up into Germany. His father Gomer went into Gaul, France and Spain. And the DNA map of Europe is actually proved that the Bible's correct. It proved that right. I've done the study of it. It's right.
Yeah, because basically what happened was like I was going into all of these nations that the brothers going into, they were like the Polynesians in that. But the people that are called, like for example, you have the Ashkenazi Jews. They're calling themselves that. But how could you be Ashkenaz?
No, Ashkenaz was the German who moved into Germany, son of Gomer. And the Jews that later went into Germany, they called them Celts settled because Ashkenaz Jews.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can't be that and then call yourself Ashkenaz because Ashkenaz came from Japheth, which is one of the Polynesians.
The Jews come from
well, really, they're Edomites. They're really Edomites. We're the real Jews. They've just taken our heritage and pretty much put it upon themselves, basically. Yeah, let's read this, brother.
Shall I continue here or go into Genesis 11? Shall I continue with the nations or?
Yeah, go to Genesis 11 because I want to elaborate what he was talking about on what the will of God was, which is to separate the world. So I want to get into that.
This is Genesis chapter 11
and
and
you can
the
get
first
Deuteronomy
verse.
7 and 6 as well.
It says
Not 7 and 6. You know the one where it says Lord. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah,
Right.
you're going, brother.
Genesis 11 and 1. It says,
Go on.
and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there.
Yeah.
And they said to one another, go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And when they had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar, and they said, go to, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad.
Exactly. So the
earth.
intention was to make a name for themselves as one people, and that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to pretty much make a name for themselves as a one people. So basically, you can't be racist. You can't say A, B, and C. You gotta just go with the flow. And if you do use your brain, then basically you get pretty much penalized. Like this girl, right? Like I'm kind of into this woman, right? This brother, he knows about her.
You know what? I've been watching the her weigh-ins. Yeah.
Gina, what's her name? Gina Carano. All she did, she only said a couple of things. She didn't really speak against, the Jewish people or Black Lives Matter. She just said a couple of things there and there, and now she's lost her career. She was in Star Wars and everything, and her career's done now for speaking out. So you get penalized for using your mind because the whole agenda is to go along with what everybody else is doing. Because in all reality, they know that the kingdom is coming, and they know we're going to rule over them and enslave them in the future. So they're hoping like hell that if we can use all of this technological entities, and even the media including, to control these people, then we can sustain our power.
Well, you'll be rulers over nations.
Yeah, exactly, with
Not
the Messiah.
one nation.
Yes.
That's getting.
And that's what they're trying to get rid of, that term nation.
Ezekiel's coming closer, isn't he? He
Yeah.
prophesies Magog coming down, Russia.
Yep.
Togarmath with him,
Yep.
Turkey,
Yep.
and Persia,
Yep.
Iran.
That's
and
it.
they're all on the border in an alliance. It's
Yep.
never happened in the history of the world. And people still say you're a nutcase. They
Yep.
say, no. I said, no, you've got to see it, it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
But they won't. And Israel has to be back in the land after 2000, and they are back in there. Tick all the boxes, tick, 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 tick. And people still won't say you're right.
That's it. That's it. And you know too, as well as like those people in the land of Israel, you know, they believe to be returning back to the land in 1948, and they say that that's a fulfillment of prophecy.
Yeah.
But pursuant to Isaiah chapter 2, it says that the Messiah would bring them into the land.
Yeah.
So whenever in the history of time did the Messiah would bring those people back to the land, and also it says that they would be scattered all throughout the four corners of the earth, out of their land. So in the midst of that, we would be here right now. Like for example, you got our people that's in America and beyond, and even in West Africa and all over the world, basically. But we just pinpoint these areas only, you know.
Yeah.
But we're scattered all over. But the intention here of the Most High is to gather us out of these lands. Let's get Jeremiah 16, verse 4.
Are you Jewish?
The real Jews, yeah. We're the real Jews, yeah. Come on. Yeah. You get Jeremiah 16 and 14, I believe it is.
Okay, this is Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come,
Yeah.
saith the Lord
That's it right
Yahawashi,
there. Yep.
but it shall be no more be said, the Lord Yahawashi liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Exactly. Yep.
But the Lord Yahawashi liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
Which is what you call North America and other places, as it explains. Go on.
And
Because the
from-
bulk of the tribes of Israel are in America anyway. Like you have, for example, the so-called Negroes. They've been taking this slaves from certain parts of Europe, even in certain parts of West Africa, and then you also have the Northern Kingdom, which is the indigenous Indians of Americas too. So the bulk of the tribes are here. So that's why we kind of pinpoint those. But let's read on. Go on.
And from all the lands whither that had driven them,
Yeah.
and I will bring them again into their land.
Yeah, and those that he has driven them. So you got Israelites in England, you got Israelites in Holland, and you have Israelites in Ireland as well. You know what I mean? So these are all of the Israelites that the Lord is recovering back in these last days, so he can set up his kingdom. Go on, brother.
And I will bring them again into their land.
And I will bring them again into their land. So whenever did they, for example, whenever did the Lord bring them into their land? It was actually a state. They called it a state. The Lord never said he's going to establish a state, but establish a nation. Okay? That's in the book of Isaiah chapter 2. Go on, brother.
That I gave unto their fathers. That's it. That's it.
That's it on that. So when the Messiah makes a second return, he's going to come back on chariots. Now, people are going to think that we're cuckoo for cold puffs in saying this. The Lord is going to come back in chariots, which is what we believe to be, UFOs, right? As what Ezra saw, not Ezra's, Zechariah the 5th chapter, as he specified, he said he saw a flying roll or something flying, and that's how we're going to be delivered back to the land of Israel.
I've got Isaiah the 2nd chapter if you want it.
Yeah, please get me that. Yeah,
From 1.
yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, the word of Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahawah, his house, shall be established upon the top of the mountains,
Yeah.
and shall be exalted above all the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
And all nations shall flow into it, right? That's not happening right now.
That's what
People
he's-
hate their guts.
That's what he said in the millennium. Even the pastor of my church, he said, I don't understand that, Pete. I said, look at this. I said, everyone has to go up for the feast, is it?
The feast is not tabernacle,
I
yeah.
think so, yeah.
Yep.
I said, everyone has to go. He said, yeah, I don't get that. He's going, I don't get that. And I thought, well, yeah, well, it's there, isn't it? It says it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to send a diplomat up there or something.
Yeah, but check this out, brother. Like, look, ain't nobody going up to Israel to go do all of this
This
stuff.
a lot of
Because
these
people hate them, man.
pastors, they got replacement theology.
Yes.
It's mad.
Mm-hmm.
It's madness.
Yep.
And they don't like it. You say, well, it says the thing, oh, yeah. And they wear the Israel with it. No, you're not, because it says it there.
Yep.
But you go saying that to your pastors, you're in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're going to get kicked out of that church,
Or
boy.
what? I'll go in anyway. It's good. But the one thing is, he's going to rule the nations.
That's it, brother. That's the
If you want to cross the border and you marry black and white, no, you're all right. You can do that.
Yeah.
Never, don't fall short. It's going to be nations because the devil unites us and then he rules us. I've got what you said.
Exactly.
I already worked that out myself, and I'm saying to myself, "You're going off your head. You're a nutcase."
Yep.
But you're right. It's right. You confirmed it. That's right.
Yeah, you're not
Nations.
crazy, man. Don't let nobody think you're crazy. You're just a thinking man. That's what separates you between.
Because one of them, I tell you what happened. One of them. What do you think of that? That course. Get it out of a minute. The Holy Spirit course.
The Holy Ghost?
No, what's that course? All the churches are doing it.
I don't know. You're talking about
Hold on.
prosperity, right? Prosperity churches.
No. Oh, it's gone right out of my head. Holy Trinity Brompton.
Trinity.
What's
okay.
that thing they do? The Holy Spirit course. Alpha.
Okay.
Have you heard of Alpha?
No. I've heard of it, but I've never been to it.
Yeah, but anyway. But even if you question that, you can't question nothing. Because the people are doing it, and you see, the bloke who did Alpha in America, he comes from our church, he went to America, and he did it in, and as soon as I thought, so why is he going to America, my art son? He went to America, he lost his son, his daughter, I mean, his wife got cancer, he got arthritis, massacred. And a lot of people on the internet, when you check these things out, they're not sure about Alpha at all, whether it's the Holy Spirit or an end-time deception. And you read into it by the bankers and all the Illuminati and all that stuff.
Oh, someone said years ago when we used to go down Peckham, we had the placard with the pastor, and he said he's a pastor. He came up and he said he's a pastor, and he got a phone call from America saying, I could make you become a billionaire, a millionaire.
Yeah,
I think that's what you might be talking about.
Yeah, some of them and all. Yeah, Warren. Rick
Yeah.
Warren. Yeah, and all them
And
places.
he said he could have accepted it and he would have become a billionaire, but it's all because of sorcery and what they do behind the scenes. You
comes with it.
mentioned the Illuminati, and that's how they become prosperous, because they sell themselves and they go into the dark side on the left hand side.
Yeah.
These pastors.
Someone on the internet, I think it's in America, they said, what are banks? I up banks. And he said, founding religious cults like this, like pressing alarm buttons.
It's just witchcrafts. Someone I know went into it, celestial phenomenon, and it's all left hand side stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad went into a little bit. It didn't last very long. They gave him some holy water, right? And I think I mentioned it to you, Elder.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And he took it home and he rubbed some on him.
Yeah,
He said he felt good one day, and then the next day he was walking past the candle will burn up. Most I judged him for it, and I was telling him,
as well, and that's just the whole thing. Like, this whole society is all based on you gravitating to the left hand side.
Yeah.
It's all based on you going along with Satanism. That's just the whole key.
because you get when Satan blesses you. When Satan blesses you, you get it. Tangibles.
Yeah.
You get tangibles to show.
Yeah,
but when you get blessing from on the right hand side, you may have to have patience to wait for it. In some cases, you get little things there and there, but it's like the blessing you get from the Most High is mostly, it's not tangible,
You got to work.
spiritual, and you got to work for it, and it's spiritual, and then the tangibles come later on down the line.
Yeah.
So it's all about faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to just finish this
What do
Isaiah
you
chapter
think?
2.
Before I go, what do you think about talents? When you give them talents, what does that mean?
We're reading the talents when it's talking